what do we call these things? The talks, Pickwick's pence. Pence. Little pence. Just sessions? Session 1? Do they need it? I'm gonna have to make subtitles for these things. They're gonna actually have to have names. Facets, we'll call them. No, just sessions. We'll call them sessions. Alright, cool. Welcome to the first real video. Thanks for watching the intro. If you did, if you didn't, you should go back and watch it. It's alright, I guess. So I figured the first video, what should we talk about? What facet of life should we tackle? And I figured, why not do it about, like, starting something new? Making a big change in your life. How do you go about doing that? That's an interesting thing. I feel like a lot of us get stuck in ruts. We find a lack of fulfillment in what we're doing, and we look for something that would fulfill us more. We're always on the search for betterment. A lot of people who are truth seekers will be that way. They'll always want to better themselves. So, in taking a new opportunity, how do you do that? How do you go about it? How do you decide what opportunities to take? Me personally, I'm not one to take leaps of faith, really. I mean, sometimes I do, and I think I'm psychotic a little bit when I do it. I'm not going to advocate for taking leaps of faith just because I think rashness can lead to bad decisions. I will say that the first thing you should do if you're wanting to make a change in your life, is simply be aware. You can't take an opportunity if you don't know it exists, so keep your eyes open. Stay vigilant and looking for different things. I listen to Jordan Peterson a lot. He makes a lot of really awesome content on YouTube. I will put a link to his channel in the description. One of the things that he does talk about is the Mesopotamian god Marduk. So, Mesopotamia. It's the first major civilization in human history, right? So, kind of a big deal. All these tribes are coming together. They're organizing a cultured, like, agreeable society between these two rivers, the Tigris and the Euphrates. And all these tribes have different gods, and these gods are basically metaphysical manifestations of what it means to be a hero, kind of. What it means to tame the chaos. So when these tribes are coming together, basically the gods are either merging into one, and the product is gaining all the powers that the two gods had originally, or they're arranging themselves in a hierarchy, so one will just beat out the other. And as this happens, naturally, in most polytheist societies too, like Zeus, for example. So the Mesopotamian people and tribes all engage in this interesting hierarchy display and seeing like what god is going to rise to the top. And it turns out that this god named Marduk rises to the top. And Marduk's powers are that he has eyes all the way around his head, so he can see everywhere. And he has a tongue of fire that speaks magical words. So you think about the context of Mesopotamia, tribes coming together for the first time. Communication was probably a big deal, probably a big decider in whether or not violence would happen at all. So communication became a big deal, and that manifested itself in this tongue of fire with these magic words. And the other thing is, this is early civilization, and the reason that Mesopotamia formed where it did was geographically those rivers made the land super fertile. That was what is safe, like what makes sense, this is what we know. And then everything outside of that is chaos. Anything that's outside is a danger. So you have to be aware. So the person that is aware of the chaos and knows where it is can see it. So the person who knows where the snake is hidden in the grass lives. That's what it boils down to. It's survival. Avoidance of violence between tribes through diplomacy. And then on top of that, you have awareness of the chaos and therefore control over it, which is order, exerting our dominion over the earth. Now, if you can be aware of your surroundings and the chaos that's happening in different places and really pay attention to it, because chaos happens where you aren't paying attention. That's another thing that Jordan talks about that I definitely agree. So start paying attention to as much as possible. after you've paid attention, you have all this information. You've gathered the data, right? So now it's time to crunch the numbers. So look at what you see around you, find where there may be opportunities, find maybe things that you aren't good at, that job requires, that you could grow through learning how to do that. Here comes your anecdote. I was working as a server in a restaurant here in Springfield. It was a nicer restaurant. I made pretty good money, about $4.50 a week, so that was good. But the ownership was changing. So it was ran by an investor and a restaurant manager. And the restaurant manager sold his half to the investor and left. So now we have an investor, someone who's never done restaurants, who has complete control. And the management started changing, and the GM quit actually, and that I think was the catalyst. That was when I knew things were going on. And that's right in front of me. So that's something that of course I'm paying attention to. Now, the other thing though that's happening at the same time is I had a sleep number bed and the air bladders on the inside were flat. So this was a older sleep number. So, okay, we gotta buy a bed. So I go out to this bed store and we lay on these beds, and they make them in town, which is cool, locally made. They have financing available, because I wasn't planning on buying a bed. This is a catastrophe, so okay, $67 a month, that's easy. Oh, and they have a lifetime warranty on these beds. It's like, okay, sweet. So we went Thursday. I didn't buy that night. I went back Saturday morning, and the area manager happened to be there. So we talked, and he asked if I had ever been in sales, and we were actually doing a contest at the restaurant to see who could sell the most big-ticketed items, and I was winning. So I was pretty cocky and was like, of course I'm in sales, this is what I do every day. Little did I know. He asked me if I'd be interested in doing what they do. And I said, you know, why not? Really, this restaurant that's behind me where I'm earning my money is going downhill. And I see that. Why not look into this at least a little bit? So I come in again, we talk a little bit about what it actually is, and then I give him my resume. Then I come back for an interview. Ultimately, I took the job. I took an opportunity. I took a chance doing something that I had never done before, which is selling mattresses. And it actually turned out really, really well for me. 3 months after starting working there, I became a manager of a store, and I've now doubled the profit and the revenue of that store once last year, and I'm on track to do it again this year. It's only February, it's only March, so, you know, anything can happen, but that's the idea. So there it is. There's an opportunity that I was able to take because I was aware of what was around me, and I knew that the logic kind of said, you know, go for it because the ship you're on is sinking. So there you go. Be aware, be conscientious of the decision you make, and do it. Do it. Just do it. Some Shia LaBeouf for you. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you got something out of it. If not, just tell me. Comment below. If you liked it, give me a thumbs up. Go ahead and subscribe. Share it with your friends. You know, the more people that get involved in this dialogue, the better. So have a good one. Catch you later.